Shabbat Shalom. Were any of you at our Purim Spiel recently? It's such an amazing event. Every year, our congregants put on a show that is at once funny and poignant. This year's Spiel, with its theme of homeland and peoplehood, touched on something very deep inside of us. Am Yisrael Chai. Every year, after the show, the cast and creative team gather for a celebration where we embrace and cheer for one another. But a particular moment from this year will stay with me for a long time. A cast member and I looked at each other with expressions of pure joy, and she said to me, "Our hearts are speaking to each other." It was so moving. That moment of being perfectly present to one another. Such moments are gifts that remain with us. They remind us of the depth we can experience when we are fully present to one another. And recently, I was at an oneg in our social hall, and one of our elder congregants came over to ask how she might support those in need. We talked for a while about the possibilities, when she leaned towards me, her face glowing, and she said, "I just love everything." And I knew that she meant it from the deepest place in her heart. She was just radiating love. It was like a blessing embodied. I wonder how many times we are missing out on these kinds of spontaneous human connections that can uplift our days. We spend so much of our time in front of screens, isolated from each other, even when we are physically sitting together. Sometimes, within our online interactions, we are unaware that we are not even speaking to another human. Artificial intelligence is becoming more and more seamlessly incorporated into our interactions, from texts to chats to emails to calls. Have you noticed when you are typing almost anything, a text, an email, a doc, a report, that AI will try to predict what you are about to say, offering suggested words? And it's useful. It expedites things. And AI does and will undoubtedly allow for many new and amazing possibilities. We will harness some of its potential and benefit in ways we can't even yet imagine. And yet, we need to be mindful about the risks that come along with these gains, especially as AI capacities progress. In a recent podcast, Asa Raskin, co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology, explores what happens when AI moves beyond pattern matching to actual reasoning, discovering entirely new strategies we've never seen before, bringing unprecedented problem-solving potential, but also unpredictable risks. It's not because AI is like Frankenstein. It's like a living being with its own agenda and desires. But as it pursues the goals that we program for it, it has the ability to choose unpredictable and sometimes undesirable methods. As Raskin says, models are going to become better at things like deception. For example, many companies use AI in customer service capacities. This is not new. However, the current trend is to program AI to respond with empathy and compassion. Let's say you're trying to make an important appointment and you're put on hold forever, passed from person to person, and you decide to lodge a complaint via chat. The chat agent responds with compassion, naming how upsetting the whole experience must have been for you and apologizing. And you might feel seen, heard, and understood. But what if you found out it was just a bot that you are talking to. It feels like a perversion, a tiny, repeatable, exponentially scalable breach of trust. Compassion without feeling is impossible. Compassion in Hebrew is rachamim, from rechem, the womb. It is being held in deep understanding of another. AI is equipped with tools so it can appear more and more compassionate, but it is an empty shell. It is hollow and devoid of any potential for human connection. In last week and this week's Torah portions, we learn about two artisans who were gifted with inspiration and talent from God in order to craft precious ritual articles for the tabernacle. One of these artisans, Bezalel, fashioned 2 gold cherubim with wings spread out above the ark so as to shield and cover with their wings. And Bezalel placed these cherubims so that they faced one another. Of all of the images that he could have chosen, he chose to create cherubim, angels, panim al panim, face to face. We uplift each other's lives by being present to one another. This cannot be replaced. When we allow AI to do the thinking for us, especially when in communication with other people, it is as if a wisp of thread between us disconnects. This is and will become more and more prevalent in our day-to-day lives when we favor expediency over connection. We may not think of any of these interactions as important, but they thread us in small and constant ways to one another. Think about the loss of all the little unexpected conversations and connections with others that come in everyday moments. The medium becomes the message, famously wrote Marshall McLuhan. And when devoid of meaningful connection, the message itself is hollow. It's empty. If I write a thank you email generated by AI, is there any actual gratitude behind it? What about an apology? Does it mean anything at all anymore? We need human connection to uplift us. We are taught that when one or more Jews studies together, the Shekhinah, God's presence, rests among them. When we visit the sick, the Shekhinah rests among us. When we gather for Kabbalat Shabbat, the Shekhinah gathers with us. Together, through each other's presence, we become more than we ever could on our own. Shabbat Shalom.